The heat is here. The pests are here. Diseases are running wild. And it gets us thinking, is a garden even worth it at this point? Mid-July is an interesting time in the garden. We started some of our seeds in the winter. We prepped our beds in the spring, then summer showed up and the harvest started rolling in heavy. Then nature comes in full force, whether we're ready for it or not. Around here in New Jersey, Zone 7A, when July shows up, so does the extreme heat. The pests come in heavy, and so do the diseases. Right now is a super stressful time for our garden, but it can be stressful for us as well. It can feel demoralizing when you put in so much time and effort throughout the year, but at this time of the year, it doesn't really seem like you're getting much back. If that's how you feel, believe me, I get it. I've been there. Heck, I am there right now. But we can't make the mistake of missing all the good that's happening right now and just focusing on what's not working. There is so much more value we get from the garden than we even realize. Check out these carrots down here. Let's grab a harvest from them because they are looking so dang good. There's always something looking good in the garden, right? Let me grab one of these. Whew, pretty nice looking carrot, I must say, and there's a lot more in there. When I first started gardening, this is what I thought the goal was, to get a harvest like this, the ultimate goal. And I know this is the main reason we garden, to grab a harvest, to get some good food, to eat it. But as the years have gone on, I've learned a few things and I've heard a few quotes that really stuck with me. And as I get older and as I garden for a longer period of time, I start to really understand those quotes more, and I realize they have a lot more depth than I thought. Like a carrot, they've got some deep tap roots. Especially at this time of year, it's so easy to miss the beauty and the successes happening in the garden right in front of our faces. We can get too focused on what's not working, and it just can, make things just seem a little worse than they potentially even are. For instance, right here, we can look at this and see this morning glory. It's taking over this whole section. If we don't take this out soon, then it's gonna flower. It's gonna put out even more morning glory seeds, and this thing's gonna take over the whole fence line at some point. It's good to acknowledge that and know that we need to take this morning glory out. But we can't fail to see the beauty that's here too, the things that are going well, the successes like the sunflower. Look how beautiful this is, opened up on its own. I didn't even plant this. It's a volunteer, a true gift from nature. Absolutely beautiful. And we can't miss the grapes hidden underneath some of the morning glory. There's so much beauty and there's so much good in the garden that we have to make sure we notice. We can be upset that a tomato we started in February, we nursed it along, it was growing really well, then we put it out into the garden, all of a sudden it gets early blight and we've only got like a few tomatoes from it, now it's struggling. Or we can be grateful for the few tomatoes that we actually did get from it, and more importantly, we can be thankful for the lessons that we didn't even realize we learned. For instance, just say that you realize this year that your tomatoes always seem to get early blight. Now next year, what you do is you grow a variety that's resistant to the blight. Or maybe looking back, we realize it was actually a lot of fun to just pick the varieties of tomatoes we wanted to grow. And it was enjoyable to germinate the seed, to watch the plants grow. Maybe the hiccups along the way weren't actually problems. Maybe that's one of the things that makes the whole process worth it. Like today, maybe when we run into something that feels like a roadblock, it's actually just a stepping stone. It's really our choice. It's so easy to get caught up in numbers and focus only on a physical harvest and miss the intangible harvest. One of my favorite quotes is from someone who's an inspiration for me, Masanobu Fukuoka. He would say that the ultimate goal of farming isn't the growing of food. It's the cultivation and perfection of human beings. Fukuoka understood that there's more to gardening than just food. There's something deeper. There's a connection. There's something that actually feeds us more than just actual food does. To me, this quote is also about finding joy in the journey and joy in the process of growing and building a garden and building what we think is our dream garden. The tricky thing is, once you have your dream garden, it's likely you're going to want to change something in the future or make improvements. And that's because it's not really the destination that feeds us. It's the journey, the process, the learnings, the growth. That's where the true value comes from. So right now, in mid-July, we can complain that the vine borers killed some of our squash plants. And we could cry that the sun is scorching some of our young plants. We could just be like, you know what, gardening's not even worth it. I could go to the food store and get a squash for $1. Or we can say, today, I'm going to take some action. I'm going to plant another round of squash. I'm going to get a shade cloth and cover my plants. I'm going to start to prepare to have my best fall garden ever. Not just to get a big vegetable harvest, but to get a big life harvest. My favorite mentor of all time, Jim Rohn, has a quote that I love so much. He says, it's not what you get that's the greatest value, but it's what you become that is the greatest value. So what we need to do is get outside. When you're out there planting your garden, don't just focus on getting fruit. Focus on those little investments you're making every day that will ultimately add up to you becoming a better version of yourself. I can honestly say, compared to when I first started gardening, I'm better. I'm healthier, I'm happier, I'm a better friend, I'm a more grateful person. Gardening is so humbling and nature is so rewarding, and we can't let what seems like mistakes or problems or roadblocks rob us of the joy and the value that comes from the planting, the doing, the growing, and ultimately the becoming. I think it was important for me to make this kind of video right now because I know what it's like. I've been doing this for a lot of years, and that feeling of like demoralized and feeling like it's not worth it, it always seems to creep up at this time of the year because we did get some of the harvests, but things are starting to slow down, and it seems like the work might not have been worth it. I have really felt that, so I thought it was a good idea to try to share this with you to help you understand like a big overall perspective, because it's always helped me to realize that it's not just about the fruit. Ultimately though, that is, what we're trying to grow out here. So let's check out some of the plants. I want to go around and show you guys how well some of this stuff is growing, because there are spots that things aren't doing great, but there are spots that are performing well. You'll notice in this keyhole bed, we've got some good production in here. Check out the squash. I grew a lot of these yellow squash this year. They're really doing well. Move over to the right, we've got some monster beets. Check this thing out right here. Whoo-wee. Let me grab this one. This thing is insane. A nice white albino beet. I bet it's beautiful when we cut into it. So we've got some nice beets growing this year. Really happy with the overall production. Like I mentioned, the cucumbers did not have a good year, but we're still getting some harvest from them, which is nice to see. We've got some beautiful ones. Look at that baby down there. Woo-wee. Grab that one. This is real food. And another one right here, looking really, really nice. Love to see it. A time like this, grabbing all the stuff from the garden and grabbing the carrot, it always makes me think of Tuck and it makes me miss him. But then it also makes me just smile and appreciate him, because the amount of memories I have, him running around the garden and him just being such a great part of it, and the joy that we had together, something I'll always be able to keep with me. So I'm so happy for it. At times I wish I could go back and try to appreciate the moment more, but ultimately I have so many of the memories and so many of the videos. So spam some hearts down low for the absolute king, young Tuck. Let's keep moving. So I'll drop these cucumbers, swing over here. Check out this right here. I actually accidentally made a mistake on this one. I didn't realize this was a butternut squash. I thought it was a summer squash, so I planted it at the corner of the bed. It's taking over this whole section. That's okay, because we're still gonna get a nice harvest from it. And there's some nice squash back here. But I probably shouldn't have put it in a spot that it's gonna take over like the whole raised bed. We'll let it go though. It's all gravy. We got plenty of space. Next, you'll see in this bed, it's absolutely loaded. We grabbed some carrots from here before. They're doing really well. We'll continue to let them go. The Swiss chard is insane. So when it comes to Swiss chard, I allow these to stay in the garden, but some of the other brassicas I'll remove. I'll show you when we get over to one of the other beds though. But come in here, you know we have the next round of squash planted, because Soon, the squash vine borers will stop laying their eggs. We won't even have to worry about vine borers. They're not laying eggs anymore, so no vine borers, no problem. More squash on the way. Swing around to this blue bed. I want to show you one of the brassicas real quick as we pass by the mushroom basket. I love this. This is one of my favorite beefsteak varieties because it's so productive, so prolific, and it grows really, really well. Ultimately, a fantastic producer. Check out over here. We still have a few things in this bed, but we've transitioned some of the things as well. And you'll notice back here, I still have this kale in. I'm about to take this kale out. One of the reasons I'm taking out my kale is because around this time of the year, I can reference back to my notes. My notes tell me that late July, early August, we start to get a lot of those little white bugs. I can't remember the name of them right now. The harlequin bugs come out, a lot of brassica pests. If I leave my brassicas in the ground that I planted in spring, and then they're still in the ground when I plant out my next round of brassicas in the fall, then those bugs are gonna go from my old plants right over to my new plants. But it seems like if I remove all my old brassicas from that were growing in the spring and kind of have like no brassicas in the garden, and then I keep my young brassicas covered with an insect netting, then it seems like a lot of the brassica pests leave, so that when my fall garden gets going, my plants aren't being attacked by brassicas. It's worked for me well. I suggest you guys do it. And even though we want to hang on to some of those brassicas, like as long as we can late into the season, they can ultimately end up reducing our harvest of the next round of brassicas. So sometimes you got to give a little to take a little. Come over to these tomatoes here. You'll notice my tomatoes, if you look through, this side as well as the other side have more of the early blight than they have in the past. It's just been an insanely hot, wet season, and I ultimately haven't been able to actually be out here as much as I have been in the past. If you guys know me, you know I live in the garden. I garden because I like to do it, not just to get the fruit. I find it all of it rewarding. But my life has changed over the last year or two, and now we're taking on a bigger project where I have the other homestead. So this isn't my only garden. This is still one of my main focuses, but I'm trying to get the next garden set up. It's pretty cool how you can get so much from something, and I thought that the ultimate goal for this garden was to grow a food forest to get it into production. I'm there now. Now I come to realize that this was a stepping stone for the next garden. So everything seems to come around in circles, and everything seems to, sometimes it seems like things are against you, but they're really not. I heard a quote that I love so much. It says that things aren't, well, how does it go? It says, it goes, things are happening for you, not to you. And you know, that really changed my perspective on things. And once I came to realize that maybe everything is happening together for my good. Maybe things aren't happening to me, they are going for me. And that's what encourages me to get out there, to keep going, and to be okay with the fact that my garden isn't as great as it might have been in the past. Let me bring you over to the potatoes though, in this section, as you swing by some tomatoes. I told you guys earlier, there's no way you'll ever guess how I got this tomato or where I got this tomato from, and the one behind me. It's probably the most interesting experiment that I've ever done, and you guys are gonna be blown away once it comes out. It's doing fantastic, the tomatoes are growing great, so we're gonna have to wait for all the harvest to come in, then we'll hit you with one of the most interesting videos you've ever seen about gardening. I'm telling you. Come this way though. Check out the potato bed. This bed is loaded with potatoes. One of the interesting things is that I wasn't able to hill the potatoes because I just didn't have the time. I had a lot of different stuff going on. I wasn't able to hill them, but we'll see what the harvest looks like. Check this bed out. More squash, like I said, the theme of the yellow squash. I gotta check this variety because it's essentially taken over the whole garden and I can't complain about it. More beans in here. And remember folks, this is only, we're in the new food forest right now. So let's take one quick second, hop into the other food forest. I'm not gonna talk as much, I'll just show you guys some stuff, but let's hop in there. In the new food forest now, we've got a lot of stuff planted, like over here. We've got some beans planted. You can see they're growing really well. These are some pole beans. So as the peas finish, we got the beans in. Those will be growing up the trellis. And if you look up, there's already some beautiful grapes growing. We love to see it. Should get a nice grape harvest this year, as long as we can keep it away from the bees and the birds, because the bees were actually eating some of my grapes the other year. It was kind of wild. I want to show you one more thing over here. Come this way as we pass by the terracotta Vego bed, looking really nice. Monster celery. I should probably harvest that celery really soon. Look how cool it is. We've got the zucchino rampicante growing over the apple and hanging in there. Look at the fruit. You got fruit hanging inside here. It looks pretty dang cool. I love the zucchino rampicante. It's a great one if you have problems with the squash vine borer. Come over here though. In the back corner, I've got a bunch of stuff too. I'm not gonna show you it now. There's some stuff happening, but not anything too crazy. Check this out though. This was that raised bed that I showed you guys how to build for $2, maybe even cheaper. Look, all this is this hardware cloth, some of the burlap, and look at the production. Look at the growth, look at the health, look at the beauty, look at the vibrance of the stuff growing in here. And the production, you love to see it. That's today's video, growers. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. This video was a little different than some of the other ones where they're more focused on like a specific technique or how to do something. This one's more about perspective, and it's a little different. I had a blast making it. I love making these kinds of videos too, where they're just a little bit different. And the point of this video was to encourage you, to inspire you, and to just motivate you to get back out there, to get into your garden, to not make an excuse just because the heat's out there. And I heard someone say, excuses are just well-planned lies. I love that quote. And there's no excuse not to get out there, to get your hands dirty, to have some fun in the dirt and some fun in the sun, to work on that fall garden, or to just work on your summer garden right now. Ultimately, my garden isn't as graded as it was in the past, but it's doing really well. I'm really happy with it, and I'm getting some good harvests. That's ultimately what the whole thing's about. I wanted to send a thank you to one of our new channel members, Patricia L. Beaumont. Thanks for being a part of Team Grow. Thanks for having your hand in everything we're doing out here. I also wanted to mention to check out the new merch over at teamgrow.us. We've got the Let It Grow shirt. We've got a few other new designs that we're super happy with. I think they came out fantastic. Everyone's got a story behind it. Everyone's got a meaning behind it. And I'm really happy with how they all came out. Another thing I need to mention is you guys gotta go over to teamgrow.us to join the community. We have well over 2,500 members. We're on there all the time, sharing with one another. So maybe no video comes out, you have a question, ask someone on the community. There's so many experienced master gardeners on there. It's a really fun place to be when you're surrounded by people with common interests who just are obsessed with gardening, that might even be as crazy as you. There's no way anyone's as crazy as me, I don't think, but they might be as crazy as you. Had a really good time and loving these videos. They feel nostalgic to me to come and make, you know, some videos run around the food forest. So I'm just wanted to say thank you to everyone. I appreciate you, the kind words, the support, the comments, anything that you can do in the comments, any form of engagement makes a big difference. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share it, throw a comment down below. We'll be back at you with another one real soon. We out.